Whispers of the Death Walders. The chamber of the Galactic Assembly shimmered with a pale glow of suspended starlight, each delegate seated within a hovering sphere of atmosphere tuned to their species' needs. It was here that empires lived and died through words rather than plasma fire, or so the old saying went. Tonight, the Assembly was not debating tariffs, nor the relocation of trade routes, but a far stranger matter, the humans. From his central dais, Chancellor Vey of the Carthac Confederacy projected his voice. His chitinous mandibles clicked in irritation as he addressed the gathered leaders. Colleagues, we waste time. The Terrans are weak. Their lifespan is shorter than a Zellerin bloom cycle. Their muscles tear under strain. Their bones shatter under gravity that most of us would call mild. And yet, his eyes flared with contempt. Their representatives dared to resist imperial oversight. Ripples of amusement coursed through the chamber. The Corran delegation laughed openly, their forked tongues hissing. The Selvery ambassador, a creature of translucent fins and elegant posture, waved a dismissive hand. Indeed, humans should count themselves fortunate to have been discovered by the Empire at all. They are fragile children, scrambling across their death world as though that taught them resilience. Let them be pacified. But not all were so quick to dismiss. From the shadows, Ambassador Threll of the Vayari leaned forward. His species had studied humanity longer than most, and he did not share the Assembly's laughter. "You call Earth a death world mockingly," Threll said, his voice low, deliberate. "Yet it is no jest. A place where predators never went extinct, where disease evolves faster than cures, where the climate shifts with merciless indifference. And despite this, humanity thrived. They did not bow to their world's cruelty. They bent it." The chamber hushed slightly. Even the Chancellor's mandibles stilled. Threll continued, his black eyes glinting. "Do you know what humans say of their home? What does not kill us makes us stronger. I urge you, tread carefully." The words were met with derision. The laughter returned, louder, a chorus of species who had never tasted true hardship. Then came the report. A holographic projection spun into view. The wreckage of a Terran colony's ship, its hull torn open by Imperial gunfire. Flames still licked across the broken frame as escape pods spiraled into the void. The Empire's fleet had made their point. A punishment for human defiance. The Assembly erupted in chatter. Some called it necessary discipline. Others found it excessive. None expected consequence. Until the transmission played. The final message of the human survivors was short, distorted, yet unmistakable. "You should not have angered us." The silence that followed was heavier than any warship. Even the mocking Corrans shifted uneasily in their spheres. The Chancellor waved his claw dismissively. "Empty word from a dying breed. They have no armies, no fleets, no power. What can they do but spit defiance?" Another voice, this time from the Intelligence Bureau, interrupted. The officer's frilled crest twitched nervously. "There is more, Chancellor. After the destruction, our networks intercepted human communications. They were not pleas for mercy. They were not calls for surrender. The hologram shifted. Across countless frequencies, countless worlds, humans were chanting. Different languages, different voices, but carrying the same grim refrain. "We already have a seat in hell." The word spread like wildfire across the chamber. Delegates muttered, translated, confirmed. It was not metaphor, not exaggeration. It was a creed. Chancellor Vey forced a laugh, but it rang hollow. "So be it. Let them have their superstitions. Hell is a myth, and myths do not win wars." Ambassador Threll did not laugh. His gaze lingered on the trembling hologram, and for the first time in centuries, the Assembly felt the weight of something far older than politics, fear. For if the humans truly believed they already belonged to hell, what, then, could they possibly fear from the living? The fires awaken. The Imperial fleet arrived at the edge of Sol with banners of conquest streaming in data bursts across subspace. Their intent was not negotiation but domination. To them, Earth was an irritant, loud, defiant, but ultimately small. The admirals expected a swift campaign. The first targets were human colonies scattered across asteroid belts and barren moons. Imperial doctrine called for quick strikes, subjugation, and installation of governors. Instead, the fleets found silence. The mining outposts were empty. Habitats gutted, oxygen scrubbers dismantled. The very air had been poisoned, leaving only husks of abandoned corridors. The Empire's soldiers entered to claim victory and never returned. From orbit, commanders watched in confusion as their boarding crews fell silent, one by one. Moments later, explosions ripped through the installations, mines hidden in walls, fuel tanks rigged to ignite. Entire squads were vaporized, their screams broadcast back to the fleet. And over the comms came a voice. Not imperial, not alien, human. Calm, mocking, distorted as if carried from beyond the grave. You want our worlds? Then take them. They are waiting for you in hell. The Admiral dismissed it as psychological warfare. But when more colonies revealed the same, booby-trapped corridors, poisoned wells, entire moons hollowed into bombs, doubt began to fester. The First Fleet's losses mounted. Soldiers grew paranoid, refusing to enter human facilities. Commanders reported morale collapsing. For every human killed, 100 Imperials seemed to follow into death. Then came the destroyer Resolute. In the second engagement over Titan's orbit, the Imperial flagship Vornith received warning of an incoming vessel. It was small by comparison, its hull scarred, weapons overheated, shields flickering. By all metrics, it was prey. The Admiral ordered its capture, but the Resolute did not fire. It accelerated. Engines screaming, hull shattering under the strain, it drove headlong into the heart of the Vornith. Alarms blared across the Imperial ship as gunners scrambled to stop the suicidal charge. Too late. The Resolute struck, reactor cores overloading in a burst of raw fury. The flagship split apart, fire swallowing its decks, thousands of Imperial officers burning in silence. Before impact, the Resolute's comm channel had opened. The voice of its captain, hoarse yet unwavering, filled every Imperial A. We'll see you on the other side. For the first time, an Imperial armada retreated, not out of tactical necessity, but fear. Reports spread like contagion across the stars. Humans did not surrender. They did not beg. They dragged their enemies into death with them, laughing as the void claimed them both. Across the Empire, a new name took hold, Hellborn. Soldiers whispered it with unease, as if saying it aloud might summon them. At the next assembly meeting, Chancellor Vey demanded calm. They are desperate, he insisted. Cornered animals. Once crushed, they will vanish like all the others. But no one believed him. Not anymore. The Intelligence Bureau had intercepted human broadcasts again. Songs, chants, voices laid in languages both ancient and modern. They were not pleas for survival. They were hymns to vengeance. Snatches of Earth's bloody history leaked across alien frequencies, wars where millions had perished, genocides, famines, and yet humanity endured. One recording in particular circulated among soldiers, a human voice, weary yet resolute. You think you've brought us hell, but hell is just where we begin. The Empire's admirals grew cautious. Every planet threatened with conquest braced for horror. Troops mutinied rather than face humans in battle. Some colonies begged to be reassigned, believing the Terrans cursed. Ambassador Threll watched it unfold with grim recognition. He had warned them. Humanity was not like other races. They did not fight for survival. They fought to make their enemies suffer, to ensure the lesson would be remembered for generations. And the lesson was simple. Don't anger humans. The special seat. The interrogation chamber aboard the Imperial dreadnought Iron Fang was designed to break even the most stubborn of captives. Its walls pulsed with suppressive fields that dampened strength, slowed thought, and clawed at willpower. Hundreds of species had cracked under its design. The prisoner strapped within its core was human. He was battered, bones broken, flesh torn, eyes sunken from sleeplessness. Yet when the guards looked into his gaze, they flinched. For there was no pleading there, no despair, only something darker. General Voros, decorated victor of 20 campaigns, entered the chamber with disdain. You will tell me where your fleets hide, he said in the polished tones of command. You will reveal your leaders, or you will beg for an end that never comes. The human bled from his lip as he smiled. Beg. His voice rasped, raw from days of torment. General, we don't beg. Not from you. Not from anyone. Varos narrowed his eyes. Do you not understand what awaits you? We will strip your world bare. Your people will kneel. The human's laugh was hoarse, broken, but it spread across the chamber like wildfire. He leaned forward as far as the restraints allowed, whispering words that chilled even the hardened guards. Hell isn't a threat to us. It's a throne. We carved our seat there long ago. The phrase spread like poison. Guards repeated it in whispers. Officers overheard and carried it back to the fleet. By the time the prisoner was executed, the special seat in hell had escaped the chamber, flowing through ranks like a contagion of dread. And then, the humans made it real. Imperial fleets pressed deeper into Terran space, only to find devastation waiting. Human ships did not linger to defend. They struck supply chains, scorched harvest worlds, destroyed fuel depots. Colonies burned themselves rather than surrender, their last transmissions a single line: save us a seat in hell. Entire planets fell into panic. Civilians rioted at the thought of being stationed near human space. Soldiers whispered that each battle was cursed. The psychological war sharpened when alien fleets began receiving hacked transmissions. At first, static, then voices. Songs, ancient and sorrowful, recounting Earth's wars. Images of mushroom clouds blooming above ruined cities. Marches of soldiers through mud, blood freezing on their faces. Records of death camps, crusades, genocides, atrocities that no alien civilization had ever dared imagine. The message was clear. Humanity had not stumbled into hell by accident. They had lived in it for centuries, clawed empires out of its fire, and built civilizations in its ashes. One admiral broke down in mid-transmission, screaming, "They are already dead. They are already damned," before ordering a full retreat. Even within the assembly, fear took root. Senators argued that perhaps the Empire had provoked something unnatural. Some whispered that the human souls were different, that their resilience came not from biology, but from something far more sinister. Ambassador Threll spoke again, voice heavy. "We thought them fragile, but fragility does not explain this. Do you not see? They embrace pain. They wield death as a tool. You destroyed one colony, and in response, they made their graves into weapons. You do not fight such beings. You survive them." His words were met with silence. Meanwhile, in the void, defectors emerged. Alien commanders abandoned their posts rather than face the Hellborn. A few even switched sides, delivering intelligence to the humans, whispering prayers that Terrans might spare them when the reckoning came. The myth had become reality. Soldiers believed it. Civilians feared it. Leaders dreaded it. And always, in every whisper, every story, every intercepted chant, the same refrain echoed. Don't anger humans. They have a special seat in hell. Damnation unleashed. The Empire had reached its breaking point. Armies mutinied, colonies whispered rebellion, and fear of the Hellborn spread faster than any fleet. Still, the High Council refused to yield. To admit weakness was unthinkable. To retreat, impossible. So they built a weapon. It was called the Sun Lance, an engine designed to pierce the heart of a star and trigger collapse. The plan was simple: destroy Earth itself. If humanity's homeworld burned, their spirit would die with it. The Sun Lance fleet gathered at the edge of Sol. Hundreds of warships, escorts, dreadnoughts, their weapon cradled at the center like a blade of judgment. Admirals spoke of victory with trembling voices, hiding their terror behind duty. The humans were waiting. Before the Sun Lance fleet crossed Saturn's orbit, transmissions flooded every channel. No encryption, no demand for mercy. Just one human voice, carried in every tongue. Hell cannot burn twice. We are ready. The word spread like a plague through the fleet. Some officers froze at their stations. Others whispered prayers. Yet the admirals pressed forward, desperate to end the nightmare. And then Earth's defenders arrived. The human fleet was a ragged thing, scarred hulls, mismatched ships, half their engines sputtering. Yet they advanced without hesitation, like wolves charging a beast 10 times their size. The first clash was brutal. Human ships hurled themselves at the enemy line, sacrificing armor for impact. Plasma tore through hulls, missiles shrieked across the void. Where other species fought to preserve, humans fought to destroy, even if it meant their own deaths. The indomitable engines of flame veered into a dreadnought, its captain laughing over comms until the explosion silenced him. The Valiant vented its atmosphere deliberately, sending its crew into the void with weapons still firing, bodies frozen yet unyielding. Each death was not an end, but a weapon. The Sunlance powered up. Energy surged, a beam bright enough to unmake a world. But as the weapon aligned, explosions rippled across its frame. Not from human fire, from within. Alien rebels had sabotaged it. The truth was undeniable. The myth of humanity had infected the galaxy. Soldiers who once swore loyalty to the Empire now feared humanity more. They could not face a species that did not fear death. They would not be the ones to pull the trigger on Earth. The Sunlance fractured, its core detonating in a cascade of light. Half the Imperial fleet went with it, consumed in a fireball that lit the heavens brighter than any sunrise. Human ships, burning, broken, still advanced. Survivors limped forward to finish the slaughter. The Empire's grand armada shattered, fleeing into the dark. And through the chaos, humans broadcast one final message, echoing across every channel in the galaxy. You sought to drag us into hell. But you forget, hell belongs to us. The war ended not with a treaty, but with silence. The Empire fractured, its colonies rebelling, its soldiers unwilling to march. The assembly dissolved into chaos, each world fending for itself. No one spoke of conquering humanity again. Ambassador Threll, watching the collapse, whispered to himself, "They do not win wars. They end them." In the years that followed, the phrase became legend. Parents warned their children, "Do not anger humans." Soldiers muttered before battle, "They have a special seat in hell." And in every corner of the galaxy, where whispers traveled faster than light, humanity's name was spoken not with contempt, nor pity, but with dread. For the galaxy had loaned it a truth carved in blood and fire. Humans do not fear damnation. They welcome it. And when hell itself rises, they are already seated, waiting.